Okay, so in today's world, if you're a global brand or creator, you can't just ignore culture. Engaging with it isn't a choice anymore, it's pretty much a necessity for survival. But here's the thing. It's also a total high-wire act. One tiny misstep, one campaign that feels off, and you can spark a massive public backlash, like overnight. It's become crystal clear that the old playbook for how to do this, it's completely broken. And this quote just hits the nail on the head, right? This is the heart of the problem. You have to engage with culture. But the industry is just stumbling from one disaster to the next, and these are preventable disasters, all because the old way of doing things is basically just guesswork and hoping for the best. You know there has to be a better way. So let's just call this what it is. It's an authenticity minefield. Seriously, the business landscape is littered with a wreckage of well-intentioned brands that caused huge damage to their own reputation simply because they had no idea what kind of cultural terrain they were stepping on. And the ways brands mess up, well, they usually fall into three big categories. First, there's superficiality. You've seen this, right? It's like using a really important religious festival as just a colorful backdrop for a soda commercial. Then there's appropriation. That's when you take, say, a traditional pattern for a t-shirt design without asking permission or paying the community it came from. And finally, you've got contradiction. This one's a biggie. It's launching a huge campaign about female empowerment while your supply chain is built on exploiting women. Each one of these is a tripwire that can turn a multi-million-dollar investment into a PR nightmare in an instant. The thing is, these crises aren't just isolated screw-ups. They're actually symptoms of a fundamentally broken model. And it means that leaders today are facing a really fundamental choice between two totally different ways of thinking about culture. So on one side, you have the old way, the extractive paradigm. This treats culture like a coal mine, a resource you dig up and take from. The whole relationship is transactional. And honestly, communities are often just seen as obstacles you have to get around. But on the other side, there's this new idea, the regenerative paradigm. It sees culture as a living, breathing system that you need to nurture. Here, the relationship is all about collaboration, and the community is treated as a sovereign partner. It's a massive shift in thinking, from just consuming culture to actually helping regenerate it. So, that sounds great, but how do you actually operate in this new paradigm? Well, you're going to need a new operating system for your business. And this is where a brand new science called civilizology comes into play. It provides the core logic and the framework to make this whole regenerative model a real practical thing.
Civilizology is built on three really solid pillars. First, it starts with a moral foundation of rights, basically recognizing that a community's heritage is a fundamental part of human dignity. Second, there's a diagnostic assessment toolkit. This is how you can actually measure cultural health and spot risks and opportunities. And third, and this is absolutely key, it builds an infrastructure of real human experts, the actual, authentic custodians of cultural heritage.
So what exactly do we mean by a knowledge keeper? This definition is so important. We're not talking about some academic in an ivory tower or an outside consultant. A knowledge keeper is someone who is recognized by their own community as a legit holder of that culture's knowledge. That's where the real authenticity lives, inside the community itself. Okay, so we've got the science. It's powerful stuff. But how in the world do you apply it in the fast-paced, deadline-driven world of global business? Well, this is where we go from the big idea, the operating system, to the actual application. A professional toolkit that makes this whole thing actionable. And that toolkit, that bridge, is Civi World. It's the platform designed to connect that deep, authentic knowledge from cultural experts directly to the global industries that desperately need it. You can think of it as the engine that's purpose-built to power this new authenticity economy. Now, at the very heart of Civi World is something called the Civi ID. Think of it like the world's first scientifically validated cultural credential. It's like a verifiable passport for a knowledge keeper. And what it does is solve the most basic, frustrating problem for any brand, which is, who do we even talk to get this right? The Civi ID gives you a reliable, vetted, trustworthy answer. It creates an entire infrastructure of trust. The platform really has two main products. The first one is called Civi Intelligence. This is your strategic command center. Before you even kick off a project, you can use it to forecast cultural risks in your campaign ideas, conduct really deep market research that goes way beyond basic demographics, and identify the right, authentic partners to work with from day one. It's all about being proactive instead of just reacting to disasters. The second product is CiviSource. So, if Civi Intelligence is all about the why and the what, CiviSource is all about the how. It's an actual marketplace where you can connect with and hire those knowledge keepers who have a Civi ID.
You can use it to co-create amazing products, ethically license cultural IP, and even build transparent supply chains that truly empower artists and communities. This is the execution engine for authenticity. So, let's talk about the bottom line. What does all this actually mean for business? Because this isn't about charity, and it's not just about doing the right thing. This new approach is a serious strategic investment, and it delivers a really powerful, multifaceted return.
First up, the financial ROI. This one is clear and immediate. Right off the bat, you're mitigating that catastrophic risk of a brand crisis that can cost you millions. You reduce your legal exposure with formal IP agreements, and maybe most importantly, you unlock brand new markets with products that people genuinely connect with, winning over those high-value consumers who are just so tired of fake, inauthentic marketing.
Second, there's the creative ROI. Working authentically isn't a limitation. It's a creative catalyst. It unlocks a level of storytelling, detailed world building, and real innovation that you simply cannot replicate in a corporate boardroom. It leads to better, richer, more interesting work.
And finally, there's the long-term brand ROI. This is huge. You build deep, lasting loyalty with customers who make choices based on their values. This creates this authenticity halo that shines across your entire brand. You become a magnet for the best talent, the people who want to do work that actually means something. And ultimately, you earn the trust, the social license to be a true leader in your industry.
So it all comes down to this choice. The old extractive way of doing things is broken, it's dangerous, and its days are numbered. But a new regenerative model, powered by the science of civilizology and the Civi World platform, offers a clear path forward. The future of business, of media, of culture itself, it's all going to be built on authenticity. The only real question left is, who's ready to start building it?